just as a side note, if you're a listing agent and you get a quote unquote lowball offer, have you ever considered maybe that the buyer's agent wants a counter? It's very weird. So we've got time, right? So if you're a buyer's agent and say you don't think the highest, what ends up happening, I'm going to go through the psychology. What ends up happening on a house that's too expensive, buyers or sellers and their agents want to believe that, first of all, they're not wrong on the price. And then second of all, that there's always somebody out there that's going to pay full price or more. That's just kind of the way they believe. And their greatest fear is that there's no one to buy their house. People are afraid to list their house and have it not sell because they feel like that in some ways they're a failure. They take it quite personally. And so what you'll have, oddly enough, because of how I've explained the sellers, what you'll have is buyer's agents, many of them have either listed homes before or are currently listing homes. They will understand the psychology of the seller and the seller's agent. And so when they go through a house and they feel like it's too expensive, they probably on the feedback aren't going to tell you that it's too expensive. There's no benefit to the agent or the buyer to say this house is too expensive. And then also what'll happen is they may like the house, they just don't like it at that price. And so when it becomes a price issue, then where I think buyer's agents can screw up and when I think, sellers can screw up, if you want to list a house and you have a certain price in mind and a buyer goes through the house, the buyer is their psychology is this. It's like, I would write an offer. Now this is amongst regular people. This isn't amongst investors. Investors are crazy. But buyers will say, look, I would buy this house at a certain price. This price is too high, but I don't want to offend the seller. I don't want to offend the seller. And I don't think that the seller is going to go to the price that I'm interested in paying. So I'm not going to write an offer. I think that's a mistake on the buyer's agent side. I think that anytime you have a buyer that's interested in a property, I don't see why it's so wrong to write an offer. And you say, well, John, it's just going to piss off the seller. Well, you're never going to get the house, okay, if you don't write an offer. So even if it does piss off the seller, sometimes you can make the seller so angry they won't even counter. Sometimes you can make the seller so angry that they'll say, I don't care what they offer after that price. It was such an insult. I will not sell this home to you. So you kind of don't want to do that, right? But you don't know what the number is. And so if my buyers like a property and they feel like the price is wrong, I feel like writing an offer is okay. Now, this is given a normal market, and we're not in a normal market. What happens now is the selling agent will take your offer and they'll talk to 100 other people that have already written offers, and they'll use it to drive the price up. So, but in a normal market, there's not that many buyers out there that are going to go through your house and put an offer. So you need to, as the listing agent, you need to work with the buyers. You need to work with them, and as the buyer's agent, you need to understand what position the seller's agent is in. So